Microphone check, test. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, and we live and direct. Yeah, welcome to another video, episode number 4. I go by Corbin Wilson, aka Myles 1000, and we are here to talk about your money. In particular, we are here to talk about Beyonce concert tickets. Come on now. Hey, Beyonce going on a world tour, which that means any Beyonce fan is about to spend some good dollars to see her up in the building. Shout out to the Budgetnista. I'm talking on this topic because I saw her IG post. I'm going to put that up on the screen where she says, time-sensitive question. Beyonce got you about to make a bad decision. For some of y'all, this is going to be a decision that's a no-brainer. And it's a no-brainer because, one, you're a Beyonce fan, but most importantly, you have the cash flow to spend on the ticket price. You paying however much it costs to go see Beyonce is not going to set you back financially. You can pay for the tickets, you can still live your life and pay all your bills, and you can still make sure your financial goals that you have are going to get hit. That's not a problem for you. But for some of you, especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're going to make a decision that is going to jeopardize your financial goals. Right? You don't have the cash flow to go see Beyonce right now. And as she says in this IG post, this is a no judgment zone. All right? I'm not here to criticize you if you decide to make this purchase or not, even if you can't afford it. But just make sure, as the Budgetnista says, just make sure you're not putting yourself in financial jeopardy to be up in the building. Some of us have lived our lives where we make impulsive financial, emotional decisions that don't serve us in the long run. We enjoy ourselves in the moment, but then we look on the back end and we have all this debt that we have to clean up because we made a purchase that did not serve our future. It served our immediate gratification. And you can see my cat's up all in the way. My cat got something to say about this conversation too. Hold on. See what I'm saying? We want to make sure that this decision, man, my cat is all up. Man, my cat's all up messing me up. We want to make sure that this decision is going to be one that serves you and it doesn't just serve the emotional side of you, okay? So how do we do this? Or how do we figure out that you're making a wise financial decision and not a decision that's strictly based on impulse and emotion? What we need to do, what I call, is the paycheck allocation exercise. And so this exercise, it's going to answer the question, what does your money need to do for you today? Like there is a strict isn't the right word, but there's a strategic game plan that your dollars should be following present day. All right, so I'm going to break this down for you to where it makes sense. But before we actually do this, let's look at the cost of Beyonce tickets, just so we can kind of gauge on what we're looking at spending to go see her perform. And so this is SeatGeek. I pulled up some of their information, and it says how much are Beyonce tickets. You can find Beyonce tickets for as low as $748. with an average price of $915. All right. For any front row fans that want to see her perform, you're looking at spending $2,475 per pop just to see Beyonce up in the building front row. So based on our example today, we're going to assume that you're looking to purchase tickets at an average price of $915. All right. So let's break down your dollars today to figure out how do we need to strategize your money to hit the benchmark of $915 to see Beyonce perform. So I'm going to make a few assumptions here. Let's assume together that today's date is March 2nd, 2023. And let's also assume that within your checking account right now, you have $1,400, okay? Let's also assume that your next pay period is going to be on March 15th and then also on March 31st. So we need to figure out, how does your $1,400 need to be utilized for you today? So first off, let's look at your expenses that you're paying for month over month. So we're going to say for your fixed expenses, you have your rent, which is costing you $1,000 per month, and that's due on the first of every single month. We're also assuming you have auto insurance. That's costing you $160 per month, and that's due on the 8th of every single month. And then lastly, you have your Chase credit card debt, and the minimum payment for that is $84 per month, and that's due on the 16th of every single month. Now, we know all of us adults have way more than just 3 fixed expenses that we're paying for. I'm trying to keep this short, though, just so you can kind of get the idea of how this allocation process works. Moving on, your annual bills. A lot of us have these once per year expenses that we have to pay for. And so I'm saying, for this example, your vehicle registration, that's costing you $140, and that's due on October 2023. Okay. Also, we have your variable expenses. So you're paying for groceries. You're also paying for gas for your vehicle. And then lastly, the reason for this topic of conversation, the Beyonce concert tickets, that's costing you $915. And let's assume the concert date is happening in September of 2023. All right. So now let's break this money up so you can see how this process works. So we have $1,400. We're going to start with your rent. So rent is $1,000 and is due on the first of the month. Remember, today's date is March 2nd. So that means your rent isn't due until April 1st. So you have today's money of $1,400. You also get paid again on March 15th. You also get paid again on March 31st. And so what we're going to do today is set money aside towards the rent. So let's take $1,000 divided by 3 payment cycles. So $1,000 divided by 3 comes out to $333. We're going to set aside, out of $1,400, we're setting aside $333. So that means we're left with $1,067 left to strategize. So we're setting aside $333 today towards our rent. And then when we get paid again on the 15th, we'll set aside another $333. And then on the last cycle of the month, on the 31st, that very last check, we'll set aside the remaining $334. Our rent is now taken care of. Moving on, we have your auto insurance. Auto insurance is costing you $160 per month, and that's due on the 8th of every single month. So we have $1,067 left to strategize. So if your auto insurance is $160 per month and is due on the 8th of the month, but today's date is March 2nd, and you don't get paid again until March 15th, that means the auto insurance has to be fully funded today, right? So we need to set aside the entire $160, which leaves us with $907 left to strategize. Moving on, the Chase credit card. I said that the minimum payment on that credit card was $84 a month, and that's due on the 16th of every single month. Now, before I talk about the credit card, I want you to know I'm the type of financial coach. I'm the type of budgeter that always likes to pay more than the minimum payment. That's important. Let's get out of debt as soon as possible. But walk with me when it comes to this example I'm about to show you. So if the minimum payment is $84 per month, and it's not due until the 16th of the month, and we have today's money, plus we have a paycheck coming in on the 15th of the month, we can take your $84 and divide that by 2 pay cycles, which means today, right now, we're going to set aside $42 towards the credit card, which leaves us with $865 left to strategize. Now, once we fund all of your bills, we're going to come back to the credit card and put more money towards it. But let's go down the list first and then we'll make our way back up in a second. So next we have your annual bill. That's your vehicle registration. I said that's $140 every single year, and that's due by October 2023. I like to tell folks, treat your annual bills like monthly bills. The same way you pay your rent, the same way you pay your subscriptions, your phone bill, pay your annual bills the same exact way. Treat those like monthly bills so they do not catch you off guard. For a lot of folks, these annual bills, they're catching you by surprise because they're out of sight, out of mind. And then when they're due, because you're living paycheck to paycheck, you have to rely on credit cards to pay for them, right? And then you find yourself in this cycle. So if the vehicle registration is $140 and it's not due until October 2023, and today's date we're assuming is March 2023, well, that means there's 7 months. You have 7 months to set money aside to pay off this vehicle registration expense. So $140 divided by 7 months equals $20 per month. So this month right now, we're going to set aside $20 towards our vehicle registration. And that leaves us with $845 left to strategize. Now, for your variable expenses, we have your groceries. How much you pay for groceries is dependent upon the size of your household. So I'm going to assume right now that we're going to set aside $250 towards groceries. And we're going to set aside for your gas, for your vehicle. Let's assume you're going to set aside, let's say, $100 towards gas. Now, that leaves you with $495 left to strategize, right? So the reason for why we're here, Beyonce concert tickets costing you $915, and we're assuming that the concert date is September 2023. But what we know about purchasing concert tickets, we don't want to wait until the month of to purchase tickets. More than likely, you're going to want to purchase those tickets a little bit sooner. So let's just assume, example only, let's assume that you want to purchase your concert tickets by June of 2023, right? So it's already March 2023. So you have 3 months away, right? So if we take $915, which is the concert ticket price, and we divide that by 3 months, that comes out to $305. So you need to set from March to June, you need to set aside $305 every single month to make sure you have your ticket price to purchase those tickets by June. So what we need to do now is say $305 a month is our goal. So for March, that's our goal. So remember, we have today's money. We also have the money on March 15th. We also have your paycheck for March 31st. So you have 3 payment cycles. So the same way we did for your rent is the same method we're doing for Beyonce concert tickets. So $305 divided by 3 payment cycles equals $102. We're going to set aside $102 right now for our Beyonce concert tickets. And then at this point, we're left with $393. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back up now. We're going to go back up to our credit card because I want us to pay more than the minimum payment on that credit card, right? So with $393 left, let's assume we're going to set aside an additional I don't know, $175 towards our credit card, which leaves us with $218 left to strategize, right? And so now let's go back to your Beyonce concert tickets, because let's assume that it's not local for you. Maybe you have to travel maybe 7 hours, 8 hours to get to this concert. It may not be in your backyard, right? You're going to have to travel some distance. So let's just say, right, along with purchasing tickets, you also need to purchase, maybe you're going to drive, but because you're going to drive, that's a gas expense, right? And then because it's going to be 8 hours away and you're going to make a road trip out of it with your friends, you're going to stop for food, either before the concert, after the concert. You may stop, dine out, go to a restaurant, buy some drinks, whatever the case may be, but you're going to spend money on dining out, right? So we need to make reservations for these dollars early. Let's treat this gas and this dining out expense like monthly bills. So there's $218 left to strategize. So when it comes to gas, we don't have to put a whole lot of money up right now because the concert isn't till September. But with $218 left to strategize, let's just set aside $25 towards gas right now for this road trip. And then when it comes to dining out, let's just set aside, because we have $193 left to strategize, let's just set aside $40 for our dining out expense. And then on the 15th, once you get paid again, you can set more money aside for gas for the road trip and for dining out for the road trip. And then also, you already know you're going to set aside an additional $102 again to pay for those Beyonce tickets, to make sure you're on track to have $305 every single month up until June to get you to that $915 benchmark, right? So there's $153 left. I want to wrap this up. So let's just assume that you want to get out of debt aggressively and you've already made reservations for your Beyonce concert tickets. So you're on track to make that happen. So this remaining $153 will go towards your credit card debt, right? So that means all in all, you've set aside, what's the math on that? You set aside $370 towards your credit card debt. You've paid way more than the minimum payment, and you get paid again on the 15th and the 31st. So now you're way ahead in terms of getting this debt paid off. And now for your Beyonce concert tickets, you set aside $102 towards the tickets themselves. You set aside $25 for the gas for the road trip, and then $40 this pay period, right, for dining out expenses. So all your money within your checking account, that $1,400 has been strategically allocated based on the bills that you have in relation to when they're due. So next pay period, you want to follow this same exact practice. And now you'll come to find out, for some of you, because of how much money you make, you may not have the cash flow available to cash flow Beyonce concert tickets. And if that's the case, well, then maybe you just miss out on seeing her perform live, right? You got to look at what are all of your goals. Or that being said, if you still want to see her perform, well, because you're looking at the totality of all of your expenses, maybe you decide to cut back on some of these fixed bills. Maybe you can decrease some of your subscription costs. Maybe you can find lower auto insurance. Maybe you can find a lower internet package, right? So now you're paying less money towards bills, which frees up cash flow to put towards Beyonce concert tickets. Either way, you're going to have to make some adjustments if you don't have the money on hand, if you don't make a large enough paycheck to cash flow Beyonce tickets every single month. So I hope this makes sense. I'm hitting the 21-minute mark, so I want to wrap up. If you need a very in-depth walkthrough on how to do this paycheck allocation exercise, check out the link in the description where I do a complete walkthrough on how to think about this. Thank you for rocking with me. Thanks for watching. Any questions, leave them in the comment below, and I'll see y'all again soon. Happy budgeting.
Show today sponsored by Myles Thousand, MylesThousand.com, MYLES thousands, THOUSANDS.com. Who is Myles Thousand? Well, we're going to find out